Okay, should be working now. Okay, can you guys hear me? Sorry about the delay. Had a bit of trouble getting the chat to show up on my tablet, but it looks okay now. Hi, Barry. Rochelle, how's everyone doing? I'm human. Teddy Bear. LG Art. Hi, Esme. Okay, catch up. Let me know. Hi, Bexy101 Iffy. Suspect McPherson. Right, not sure how long I'm going to be on tonight, but I thought I'd do a stream to see you in the new year. New Year's Eve, I just spent a bit of time with my family. New Year's Day, I spent eating rubbish. Slightly regretted it. And that was pretty much it. Just to confirm, can you all hear me? Okay, just making sure. Okay, hi, Tiny Green Turtles. Hot shot. Yeah, I had a little bit of trouble getting it to load up myself here. What I usually do is I stream from my desktop, obviously. Well, maybe not obviously, but I do. And I like to look at the chat on my tablet because I can keep that closer to me. It was being a little bit temperamental tonight. Did everyone have a good New Year? Did you eat steak pie? No, I don't really. I don't have steak pie New Year. My mother used to make it when I was little. I never had any then. But what I would do, I'd say, all right, I'll have some. She used to put sausages as well as steak in it, so I'd have some of the sausages and gravy. No, just making some tweaks, minor tweaks, nothing too fancy this time to these old family pictures. This one's a little bit faded, slightly discoloured at the side there. A little few specks. We're gonna see if we can clean it up. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that, Predator. Or Per-editor. Jared, are you Liam Neeson? No, no, I'm not. Hi, Claudini. Oh, well, I hope you're feeling better today, McPherson. McFree person, rather. No drunkenness for me, though. I don't drink. But I hope you're having a great day. Well, slightly annoyed day. I was trying to be super productive. I got work done, got the next two videos done. They're uploaded now. And I was done early, so I thought, okay, I have a thing to hand into the doctor to get some ointment to treat my dodgy skin. And I was down in time, but they must have closed early, or they weren't open at all. I'm not sure what. So I'll hand it into tomorrow. Well, today actually, I suppose. Hi, Brooke. See you later, Per-editor. Thanks for stopping by. Yes, Barry, you've been noticed. I'm keeping my eye on you. Not for any special reason, mind you. Right, I'm not sure what kind of activity we'll have tonight because I don't usually stream this late. So we'll see what happens. Hi, Blue Rooster. I like to shake the time up a little bit, make sure everybody's got a chance to get in. Time zones and everything. So I don't think there'll be a lot of UKers, but maybe a lot of Americans and other folks. Maybe a few Canadians. Nope, start here. Yeah, it's 12:15 over here. Hi, Ahmed. Well, I'm from the UK too, so we're both up rather late. Well, it's not really late for me, but I had the problem a little while ago, is I was going to bed much, much too late. I'm talking like 10, 11 a.m. I was going to bed late, because I'd be up all night doing things. So it meant I'd wake up really, really late. And I am a night owl, but that was just ridiculous. Now I've got the opposite problem. I'm sleeping properly, that's not the issue. I'm just getting tired earlier, so I go to bed, I get a full night's sleep, and then I wake up at 10 o'clock in the morning. So I'm just kind of trying to fix things. Still, it's not really a bad thing getting up that early, I suppose. All the shops and everything are still open. That's a plus. Right. Make it 7:15 in the evening, I believe. Is that right? Yeah, I mean, that's a US time zone clock, so I'm not sure which one it is. It's an hour earlier. East Coast, that must be, is it West Coast maybe? They're an hour earlier, is that right? Hi, Paulina. Are you working or are you free today? Well, it must be, yeah, it must be that. That must be what it is. I usually, because so many of my, what's the word? Subscribers, forgot the word there, are from the US, I like to have a rough idea of what time it is there. Aw, poor Paulina. One of these days I'll do one of these things and you'll be free. Thanks, sorry. 3:16 in Iraq, so you guys are about 3 hours ahead of me then. West Coast is about 3 hours behind, okay. Hi, Chris. Chris with a K. I used to know a Chris with a K and a T. I think he was just trying to be fancy, though. Hey, Barry, thanks a lot. Love your videos, I think I've said that before. I'm a fangirl, LOL. Right, I'm going to add a little bit of discoloration over here, so I'm just going to sample from around it and paint over it. I'm going to have to figure out something else to do on these streams soon because I'm just about out of pictures. Well, it just so happens I've got a can of, if you're talking about Arizona iced tea, I've got a can of pomegranate green tea with me right now. Don't know if I'm going to open it because, like a very bad hell freezer, I was out earlier and I bought a can of Rockstar, which I shouldn't have drank, but it was very tasty at the time. No one can seem to remember Christine. Hi, Micah, thank you. Are you deployed with the US or? Do I have a brush? Well, I have a brush, it's not very big. Nope, still not big enough. Well, Chris, if you did punch people, they might remember your name then. You certainly make an impression. I've got bad news, Hanafi. The glitch videos will be next Thursday. So I can almost guarantee it'll be next Thursday. It's just I wasn't able to get one together for tomorrow. Annoyingly, just as I'd actually made the video, it's going to be Revenge's Ice Cream tomorrow. And it's quite a good one. Well, I usually try to make them good anyway. It's not like I put rubbish ones up. But just as I'd finished that and made it, I then got enough stories to do the glitch video. But I'd made 2 videos by that point and I just didn't have the energy to do another one. So next week for more glitch. Hi, Rochelle. Just listening while doing some laundry. Oh, I need to put a load in actually. I'll do it tomorrow. Later today. Ahmed, yeah, my favourites are the funnier ones. So Revenge Hotel, the retail. Quite enjoyed the spinning plates as well, although they're kind of new and shiny. So. Thanks, Louise. Happy New Year to everyone as well. Oh, thanks, Ari. What is the weirdest story that anyone has ever sent you, based on your opinion? Ooh, I have to rummage my brain a bit for that. Well, I do have the answer, but I always give the same answer. It's my favourite story that someone sent me as well. It's also the weirdest. It's the one with the disappearing town. And I love that kind of thing, I really do. Something that I'd hope to encounter myself one day. If you remember, it was a family. Well, it was a mother, a daughter, and a stepfather who turned out to be slightly dodgy, but it wasn't relevant to the story. And they discovered this weird, mysterious town, very creepy, very spooky. And then they got the heck out of there, and they could never find it again. It was very odd, but it was so beautifully written. It just kind of pulled you into the narrative. And it was both weird and wonderful and excellent. Which would be 3 things. Hanafi, have you experienced any glitch or paranormal or weird stuff? Well, there was something, it was many, many years ago, where 10 years ago now, just over 10, well, no, about 10 years ago, it was after my mother passed away. For quite a while, I would always hear her shout my name to wake me up. And this went on for months and months and months. And there's 2 ways I can look at it. In a way, I like to think, maybe she was still looking after me. You know, making sure that even though she was gone, I didn't let things slide. I kept on with my life. Then there's the rational part of my brain. He's a bit of a dick, this guy. He tells me, well, look, you were just expecting to hear her at that time anyway, so you heard her. Chris Freestone, I've been dying over Neckbeard and Revenge. It's ice cream videos lately. Come up to one, got this surprise. Yeah, well, we'll have new Revenge tomorrow. I'm not sure when the next Neckbeard will be. I'm gonna send out messages tomorrow for the spinning plates and Neckbeard stories. I've got one, and I think the big Irish guru and Spooky, I kind of was given blanket permission to use any stories that they put up or he put up. So I think there's 1 or 2 others I haven't used yet, so I might only have to get 2 or 3. Hello, Mara. Yes, there's sound. Is your volume up? Sounds like a stupid question. If somebody could type that, if Mara won't be able to hear me. I think everyone else is hearing me though. Unless I've lost out, have I? No, my little green light on my interface is blinking away as I talk. Hi, Hunter. It's weird when chat does that. Just kind of pauses and it's like, oh dear, have I lost chat? Then a burst of messages. Elena Cardenas. I actually had a small glitch in the Matrix moment, but nothing good enough to send, basically. I went to the kitchen to wash a plate and saw a yellow Ajax soap. I don't buy Ajax. Yeah, I mean, I've had lots of little things like that. Like, you buy something in a store, you get home, it's either not there and you definitely know you paid for it, or you bought like multiples and there's only two there. So you tell yourself, well, it must have fallen out of the bag, but it was, at the bottom of the bag and there's no holes in it. Barry Salam Meeps, your Twitter is at Hellfreezer. Yeah, yep, it is. It is. I'd bring it up. I've done it before. I usually like to have a Wikipedia page open. Yeah, there's me. Don't look at anything there. Yeah, see? There I am. Hellfreezer stream. Okay, it sounds like you have shape-shifting soap. Well, 3 days in, not bad so far of 2019. Okay, it probably just took a little time to buffer. Things were a bit sluggish for me tonight getting on. I think some other people had trouble getting the chat to load. Micah, I want to make sure I haven't missed anything. Louise, I have one, but it was when I was at school, and it involved in showers after pee, shower gel, and food colouring. Micah Hawkins, is this a full-time job for you? Do you have anything else for income? But tons of videos, just curious, there's enough for you to live on. Yes, it is a full-time job at the moment. I'm hoping to take the skills I've honed here and move into doing audiobooks, but not abandon the channel, certainly never do that. Although maybe reduce the number of videos I do so I can get at least 1 or 2 audiobooks done a year, but that's something I want to move into gradually. Andrew, I got a glitch in the Matrix to a worker of mine. Lost his bear's head gear in my kitchen, could not find it for a month. Randomly pops up on a chair in my office. Hi, Chan. This isn't super late for me. I'll be up to about 2-ish, I think, so it's currently 12:30. What would you? Well, I only got 2 Christmas gifts for my little niece. She got me I have very sensitive skin, so she got me a shower gel and deodorant set for sensitive skin, and also a gummy bear on a stick, like a giant gummy bear. He's currently sleeping in the refrigerator. Hey, Tidepod. Chris, I need any and all stories, even if it's something I haven't done before. I'll find a place for it. I'm currently still trying to put together a Bad Friends video. Hi, Freeze. Must be cousins or something. I'm buying toilet paper instead of pizza. I hate adulting. Well, let's be honest, you're going to get more use out of the toilet paper. What is Bad Friends stories? As much as videos, stories to go in a video. Yeah, Ellen, if you have time to type it up, it would be appreciated. I need at least 3, just enough to make a 20-minute video, preferably 5. I like to have at least 5 stories. But it's one of those things that I'm just from time to time I'm looking out. Turn that off. We don't need that up. I'm just kind of looking out and trying to gather stories for it. Nope. It's not the color I want. That's the color I want. I'll paint it on a bit. And try again. Thank you, Mike. I appreciate that. Hello, Erica. Welcome. I got a bad roommate story. I'm working on another one of them as well. I've done bad roommates before. You gotta plug your Twitter. I do plug my Twitter now and again, but you know, it's we're still not quite at 1,000. That's my dad. He was in a band in the 70s. So yeah, could well have been. And books on how were the bodybuilding grocery hauls from earlier today? I've been watching them for a couple of days actually. I stumbled across guys. What was it? Buff Bros, was that their name? I talk about them in the outro of tomorrow's video. Basically, 2 brothers, and both look like Thor, to various degrees. You know, really buff blonde guys. And I thought, oh, this is oddly engaging. You know, watching the stuff you buy to build muscle on a budget. And some of them I'm watching, not them. Theirs are actually quite good. There was others where I'm thinking, your idea of a budget is very different from my idea of a budget. Hi, Miss Brooke. Yeah, so anyway, I was watching them. I don't think that's really quite working. Oh, hang on, let's go with Hue. Does that help any? Well, they were kind of oddly fascinating. It's not really making a difference, is it? Oh, I'm sorry to hear that, Chris. depending on the model of phone, it can be either cheap or very expensive to replace. I've done a couple of screen replacements on phones, so it's kind of doable yourself if you can't afford to get it repaired, but you may not have the time. Welcome back, Rochelle. Barry, I have a kind of scary story. It's not paranormal whatsoever. It's just well, I only do paranormal once a week. I do a lot of different things. Something I was just. Apparently someone thinks they've insulted me. I'll just scroll back to see if I can find it. Nope, can't see it. No, I don't think you're insulting anyone, Louise. The Hunter, if you don't settle down, young one, I'm gonna get the teaching stick. Marfrim, please, more really scary stories, the best. Ahmed, what's your favourite YouTube channels? I could take you to my YouTube channel and show you, but I'm not sure how YouTube would feel about me showing YouTube. I know one guy that lost his streaming privileges for 90 days because what he'd go on, do live streams, not quite like this, he'd get people on and they'd chat with them through like Google Hangouts, one of the few people using Google Hangouts still, and while they were chatting, if something would come up, they'd find a video relevant to it and they'd talk about the video and show clips from it. Actually lost his streaming because of that. He got it back now though. Okay, I'll get to the favourite YouTube channels one in a bit. Let me just check. Obviously, do you know if any of the channels recorded narrations on GarageBand? I don't actually know. I think we all use different stuff. A lot of people use Audacity. That's a really good free program, very versatile. I do my recording in Ableton Live 9, and I actually still do my editing in Audacity because it's the quickest, most efficient way of doing it that I've found so far. Hi, Ava. Hi, Julie. Later, Miss Brooke. Thanks for stopping in. I just got an email for someone telling me that they always miss my chats, yet I'm literally doing a chat right now when they sent that. I left that comment. Maybe their work. That could be it. Elena, do you have New Year's resolutions? Nah, I don't make resolutions, just... I've always got goals and things I want to do, but I don't wait for the new year. I'm basically just working on trying to improve my health. So I have to go back to use... I bought this super awesome, amazing, fancy blender last year, and I did use it very, very much when I first got it. But I kind of somehow fell away from doing it, and I've yet to get back to using it to make smoothies. So I'll need to get like a proper smoothie cup, not the mason jars with the straws, because they're too hard to clean them. So I'm going to be on the lookout tomorrow for a couple of those, travel bottles with the wide necks on, kind of thing I'm talking about. Why was he showing his own content? He was showing his own content, but he was also showing little clips from things that we're talking about as well. Nothing too infringing, I'd say. I mean, he was letting the ads play and all that, but anyway. Chan, my favourite kind of story to read is the funny ones. Mara, I have an idea for stories. Okay, lay it on me. Content in the stream, it shouldn't be a problem. What my roommate uses. Sleep time, McFree person. Hi, Eva. Really scary road rage stories. There'll be a lot of cursing in that. I'm trying to watch the cursing. I mean, I've even been narrating stories and then suddenly it's like, okay, I didn't realise there was as many curse words in that as I thought there were. And I actually just end up not using them if it's too much. No, I don't play D&D. That guy I just mentioned, Count Jacula, that lost his streaming, he actually does. Or at least he's into that sort of thing, role-playing games. Do you collect anything? No, not really, although I did seem to have inadvertently acquired a collection of sunglasses. I see E.T. Castillo. What common colloquialisms in other countries have the same root to others but are perfectly fine on their own? I do understand. Oh, sorry about that, I just bumped the microphone. I do understand. I'm going to have to be very careful how I address this one, because some of them are very rude. There's a great bit Trevor Noah does in one of his stand-up concerts where I'm not going to say the words because they're very offensive, but how certain words in, say, the United Kingdom and in the US, I'm sure you all know the kind of words I'm talking about, don't actually mean much of anything where he came from in South Africa, but they do have other words which mean much the same thing. And there are certain curse words in the UK that are still curse words, but they're not as incendiary as they are in other countries. I think everybody's got their own thing. I'm always concerned I'm ignoring people if I take too long to answer. Sure. Well, you've got to kind of be careful. You've got to use not all fruit smoothies. You've got to stick some vegetables in there as well. The green smoothies are good for you, but you've also got to kind of mix up the kind of greens you use. Eyesore for the Blind. Hey there, how you doing? Thanks for stopping in. I was actually wondering myself. Okay, on my own. Yeah, what I usually find, it's been a few years since I did it. I did it on my Xperia Play, so I managed to get a bit more life out of that. It was the touch screen was kind of knackered. Then I had to do a more in-depth screen replacement on my. It was another Xperia. Oh, I can't remember the model of it. It's the one with a slightly curved back. I had to do one on that, and I got a bit more use out of that before I eventually had to scrap it. Usually you'll find, again, it's an LG, you might be able to get the parts for that okay, depending on the model. And as a rule, if your LCD is okay, you might be able to just get the touch screen. If it's not, then you can usually get the touch screen and the actual LCD together, which is an easier repair job because it's a single unit. You don't have to try and separate the actual touch screen from anything if it's a single unit. So that's usually a lot easier to do. And you'll find most of these places will come with little bags of cheap tools, but they do the job. Little bags of like pry tools and screwdrivers and There's a little suction cup thing as well. Most of them should come with little tools for that, for repairing, if you want to do the repair yourself. Hi Jane Child, hope you enjoyed the video. Okay, I think I'm going to have to kick the hunter out. He keeps throwing snowballs at people. Quite rude behaviour. Or maybe I'll just get a flamethrower. I see we're getting into dicey territory here when we're talking about various names we call different cultures. Old Hellfreezer's just going to let you say what you want and not repeat any of them. Well, in fairness, Barry, we do say wanker and twat a lot. Although I've found Americans often say twat, which always sounds weird to my ears. I do use the expression merciful Zeus quite a bit. I think I got that from Buffy the Vampire Slayer. From Xander. I mean, I'm an atheist, so to me that means pretty much the same thing as in the name of God or Jeezy Creasy or whatever, Jesus Christ or something like that. Lemon Grabbers, I'll have a look into it if I can remember. Sorry for going silent. I'm just trying to I'm trying to keep chat of the track. Yes, I'm trying to keep track of the chat. Is Bloody a curse in the UK? Yeah, but it's one of the softest, most gentle ones. Alright, Ahmed, what do you do in your spare time? Play games, do stuff like this, like I restore pictures for people on Reddit, usually for free. Carrie, thanks, Carrie. I've got quite a few of those stocked. I've got enough for a couple of videos, so we might do more of them soon. The only reason I don't do them a little bit more often is because I can always guarantee every single time I put up a Confessions of a Hotel Worker video, something about them always means they get automatically partially demonetized. And I select them to get reviewed, and they always seem to get approved manually. So I don't know what the issue is, because the reviewers think they're fine. It's just the bot doesn't. But I will do more. Until I started listening. That's often the way, Ava. I mean, when it's on your mind, you notice it quite a lot. I mean, what do you do in your spare time? Well, as I was saying, yes, for restorations, watching film. Well, technically watching films. There's a list of films I want to see that I just haven't gotten round to, and Photoshop restorations, reading, listening to audiobooks. I'm fairly boring actually in my spare time. If the weather's good, I will go out on my bike. Is there a significant other Hellfreezer? Nope, I am hideously repulsive right now. My skin's really, really bad. And while I was feeling confident enough to actually kind of put myself out there, middle of last year, start dating, there's no way in hell I'd be willing to do that now. And I know lots of people say, oh, if you find someone who cares for you, they won't care. But the fact of the matter is, I care. It bothers me. I don't like looking at it. I don't expect anyone else to. Elena Cardenas. My husband wants me to ask, what is your favourite Pokemon? Pikachu. I don't believe there are any other Pokemon. They're all Pikachus. I know it's kind of a boring choice, but I like him. He's cute. Hi, Vanagon's Art. Welcome. Gentry, you're getting kicked out. You shouldn't be getting kicked out at all. I mean, I'm not doing anything. I can see it's been a little bit glitchy tonight. I'll say son of a frog or mother trucker, unless I get really ticked. I say muffaluffer. That's my own version of motherfucker. Son of a biscuit eater. And child. Stop trying to corrupt people, Hunter. Oh, that's a lot of K's, Mara. Skills in hospitality. What you mean? Well, that'd be like servers and things, surely, would it not? Or even the hotel stuff. I mean, all kind of goes in that. I mean, I generally censor my own language much more when I'm talking, like on streams, or at the end of the videos or something. I actually curse quite a bit more in real life than I do, because I don't really want to put that out there too much. You want to present your best face. Was Richard E. Grant in The Fifth Element? You sure it wasn't Gary Oldman you're thinking of? Interesting speeds. Chan says, I made the mistake of teaching my kiddo bullshit in British Sign Language. How Fraser, do you draw? I used to draw quite a bit. I don't actually have anything scanned, so I can't really show you them. I might have a bunch of them somewhere. I haven't actually done any proper like pen, paper, hand drawing for a while. I did buy a tablet a while ago with the idea of actually starting to basically relearn how to draw, because you kind of have to relearn how to do it with the tablet. But I haven't actually put too much effort in it. Anna B, nope, no plans for a face reveal. Jen Child, right, try shutting down the browser. If you're on a tablet or a phone or something, make sure it's been completely closed down, then restarting it. That's what I had to do to get it working earlier. Yeah, just remember, Chris, you should be, if you can find the parts quite cheap, like I say, depending on the model, some of them will be quite expensive. It might take a few weeks to arrive, because most of the ones, at least the ones I've ordered, come from like China somewhere. but I've yet to have a problem with them. You know, it takes a while to arrive. They arrive in good condition, well packed. I'm not sure if there'll be any import charges, but they're not very big. They don't weigh a lot, so. Julie, yep, I do listen to Hollywood Babylon. Though not the most recent one. They don't seem to have put that one up. Are you a Kevin Smith fan? I am. I think he's a massive immature man-child, but there's also quite a lot about him that I like. And my favourite movie of his is probably Dogma. Of course, the new Jane Bob film might be great, so we'll see. I also love the directing work he does on The Flash and Supergirl. Hi, Jennifer Kennedy. Too long. Oh, just lie back, close your eyes, and relax. That sounds way dodgier than I meant it to, but do it anyway. Welcome back, Jen. Hey, finally caught up. Excellent. Well done, Elfreezer. Well, I think that the problem when I'm talking about cursing in stories is I don't object to cursing. Clearly, I mean, if you listen to my stories, there's definitely cursing in there. But the problem is when I'm reading it, I'm thinking, okay, this curse here is necessary because it helps punctuate the emotion, it adds to the sentence. This one here, if I take it out, actually makes the sentence flow better. And I think a lot of the times, especially if it's scarier stories, people are reliving the emotions or the retail kind of stories. They're reliving the anger and the fear and everything they felt then. So they write it with the same emotion they experienced at the time. So it leads to a lot of maybe unnecessary cursing. But, well, it is what it is. Laura, you find The Flash? I'm a fan. Yes, I'm also a fan of most of those shows, apart from Arrow, which I used to really like, but they lost me partway through season 4. Rochelle, Daft Kid? Well, that's almost affectionate, really, isn't it? Jennifer, I'm just some light restoration on some old family pictures. I may actually skip to one that needs a bit more TLC. That one, there we go. Just some light work. Control J. There we go. Louise Davis, you talking about a face reveal? Well, yeah, currently no plans, but never say never. I didn't say the near future, though. Just maybe someday. Can you different voices like weird, super high, super low, etc.? I've got a lot of versatility with my voice. Some are a little bit out of my range. And about your fans? Nah, I don't think I'd get hounded by people. Nobody knows where I live. I mean, the only people that know I do YouTube and what I look like are my family and occasional cute girls that serve me in supermarkets. Oh, sorry to hear that, Barry. We've been lucky so far, and we've had no snow. It's been very chilly at night. But lucky no snow so far, though I expect it's on the way. Last year, about this time, we had something called the Beast from the East, and it was quite bad. The country effectively shut down for a few days. And allegedly, there's another one on the way. Can you do a Jamaican accent? I did a Jamaican accent in, was it today's video? I think it was today's video. Well, it was meant to be Jamaican. It was one of the stories of the girl, she worked at a fast food place. There was two guys chasing her. One was a big buff Jamaican fella. Moki, you're all. Can you say, go to your room, you're grounded? Bye, Ara. Sleep tight. Best and worst episode of Star Trek Next Generation in your opinion, Hellfreezer? Right. Here we go. Remember the one... Oh, right, I'm going to Wikipedia. If it's just text, I should be alright. Come on. I want to say it's called Code of Honor, but I'm not sure it's the right. I don't think that's the right title. There was an episode. Okay. In season 1, it was a Tasha Yar focused episode. It was Code of Honor. Yes. And for those... how do I describe that? It was offensive in every way it could possibly be offensive. It was offensive to black people, it was offensive to women. It somehow managed to be offensive to white people just by having white people in it. Yeah, it was not their finest hour. But there was a lot of dodgy stuff in the earlier seasons. There was ones I quite liked. Daedalus was good, as I recall. Too Short a Season, was that the one with the Admiral? It may have been that one. Oh, chat seems to have stopped scrolling. Come on, chat, behave yourself. I love the voices, but you almost sound like Hannibal Lecter. I love the voices, but you almost sound like Hannibal Lecter / Anthony Hopkins. Anthony Hopkins? A fine, fine Welsh actor. And you know what? He's rather good in Westworld, too. Isn't Wikipedia the worst? No, Wikipedia is a good first stop shop. I mean, especially if it's something you already kind of know and you're just refreshing your memory. I mean, it shouldn't be your only research place, but it's a good place to start, especially if they've sourced things. It's also fairly safe to use, I think. Do you believe in any crypto creature? I'm open to proof. I mean, things like Loch Ness Monster, Bigfoot, they've essentially been debunked. Yeah, there was best episodes of Next Generation. Let's have a bit of a scroll through here. There was one in season 3 I really liked called Survivors. Yeah, there's episode 3 of season 3 actually. Les Landau. I wonder if he's related to Martin or Juliet Landau. Anyway, and it's about this planet. It's been attacked. Oh, thanks a lot, Barry. I appreciate the donations. Well, I hope you sleep well, or whatever it is you're off to do. Enjoy the rest of your evening. And survivors. It was they go to this planet, and it's been destroyed. It's been decimated. They don't quite know how at first, but eventually they discover this little section of land that's perfectly preserved. It's green. There's trees. There's a house, and they discover this older couple living in the house. Can you do the Minions accent or impressions, please? I don't know what they sound like, Louise. I'm sorry. I'm suddenly tempted to go make tea. I'll wait till we're done streaming. Maybe we should have the gun. No, I'll have the ginger tea with honey again because there's no caffeine in that. I've had enough caffeine today. That's the one, the Hunsok. And okay, but bear in mind, spoilers coming up for Next Generation if you haven't seen the episode. I'm essentially going to tell you what happens in it, just so you guys know. And so there's a mystery here, and the Picard and the crew they want the couple to leave the planet. They won't leave, and eventually these aliens that destroyed the planet return, and they attack the colony. And oh my God, they're gone. And Picard thinks, well, they're gone. They can't trace the bad guys. I guess they've no reason to stay. But it seems weird to Picard, so they go away, but then they come back and they detect that this little stretch of land and the couple, it's all back. Then a bigger, more intimidating ship comes. And eventually they discover that, well, I won't give away the big twist, but there's some really cool stuff happening there that I really wish they'd followed up with. Because this, what's the name of the actor? I'm almost afraid to click on this scroll. Okay, there's no pictures. Good. What's the name of the actor in that? John Anderson. Oh, didn't see that. He did such a good job playing Kevin. I mean, they were both great. So was Anne Haney as Rishon, but it was, you could really feel the anguish and the regret and the pain of this man at everything he'd been through. Anyway, that's one of my absolute favourite Next Generation episodes. I'm probably putting you all to sleep here talking about Star Trek. Of course, Tin Man, Sarek, great episodes. Best of Both Worlds goes without saying. In fact, I can't think of any of the Star Trek two-parters that I really hated. No, not one. Future Imperfect, that was one that I watched all Next Generation as it aired, but Future Imperfect, I'd been out somewhere with my family, and I came home and it was finishing. So I didn't actually see that until like a decade or so after it originally aired. Not a bad episode, though. Day is Daylight, quite a simple episode, that one. Devil's Due, that was quite fun. Yeah, I'm not seeing too many more that I actually thought were awful. Just certainly quite a number of the earlier ones. In fact, the Skin of Evil, that could have been done better. There's one of the ones Patrick Stewart directed, in theory. Good stuff. Redemption, yep. Yeah, by and large, absolutely fine. I wasn't crazy about the Lower Decks, but I don't really much care for the characters, to be honest with you. Time's Arrow, that was the good stuff. Jerry Harden in that, playing Sam Clements. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm I'm off on a Star Trek tangent and ignoring the chat. Very, very sorry. I protest. I am not a merry man. Even that was fun. Hellraiser, yes, tea, coffee, alcohol preference. Don't drink alcohol at all, so no preference there, just don't drink it. I drink more tea than coffee, but I do drink coffee now and again. I actually got a coffee grinder, was it last year? It may have been, no, it wasn't last year. It was 2017 I got it. I keep forgetting we're in 2019 now. I got it in 2017 so I can make cold brew in that, but I've actually since got myself a wee single cup French press so I can get a bit more use out of it, and it's actually really, really nice that way. I mean, I was used to instant coffee. Those of you big coffee drinkers out there probably just began clutching your pearls in horror at me. But yeah, so much nicer and worth a little bit of extra effort. My co-worker insists on talking to me. Tell them you're listening to the Mighty Hell Freezer and they'll understand. Or let them listen along. Hang on, I think someone's saying goodbye. See you, Chan. Not sure if you're actually going to sleep or going to bed for sure. Have a good New Year. Or if 5 cups of coffee destroys your nerves, oh no, 1 cup of coffee every once in a while is plenty for me. I mean, I've even cut way back on my energy drinks. I'm down to most of the time 1 a week. I'll occasionally have more, like this week. I had 1 tonight, and I'll probably have another one on Friday when I'm done working. That's my little treat for getting the videos done. I usually have that, and I'll have like a little thing of donuts with dipping sauce or something. Yeah, AC Castillo. That was one of those ones that, again, not the most interesting part, was they put a very interesting thing in there and they never follow up on it. It was like the conspiracy that these aliens were taking over the Federation. The whole thing was abandoned. We never heard from them again. Hi, Austin. Welcome. I'm currently waiting on 2 collabs being finished, and I have been for months and months and months. I have no idea what's happened to them. I've recorded stuff, sent it to the people. One of them did send me audio, but I don't know if they ever put theirs up. Because usually when you do a collab, you try and upload it at the same time, so I didn't get any response from that person. And the other one, I guess the person just was either too busy, they forgot about it. And it's fine, because as far as I'm concerned, they asked me to do it, so the ball's in their court. Fact of the matter is, collaborations are a lot of work and very little gain. It really is. I mean, I'll do them if it's a channel I've worked with before. Like, I've done a couple with Unit 522, and I'll likely do it again if he asks. Or any of the other channels I've worked with, like Mad Mike. I haven't heard of Mad Mike for a while. I hope he's okay. Yeah, but it's not something I actively pursue. My channel's growing steadily. Did quite well last year. I just passed 57,000 subscribers, and of course, it would be awesome if I could hit the 100,000 by the end of 2019. But we'll just plod along, and we'll gain what we gain. Hey, Scatterbrain. Cryptic Synth 97. Theoretically Sunday. No guarantees though. I don't have the stories yet, but I'm going to hopefully get them over the next couple of days. Yeah, I'm having something similar myself right now, Kristen. It's acid reflux related. When the acid reflux settles down, the heart palpitations stop. It's obviously a different cause, but Mara Freeman, I'll freeze her question. I'm always amazed to see the people from the UK change to an American accent. Could you switch to? I can't never do a British or Scottish accent. Well, I often find, and I'm not saying this to be judgy of you guys or anything, but I find that people in the US often struggle to do UK accents. We've got a lot of different ones over here, just as you guys have a lot of different ones over there. But I generally find, especially the Scottish accent, it almost sounds like a parody. We all, it's like you guys think we all sound like Groundskeeper Willie, you know? Pretty as a picture. But some people can do them with practice. Like Alexis Denisov and James Marsters, both Americans, and both can do very convincing English accents. To the point where a lot of they actually have worked in the UK playing British characters. I remember Alexis Denisov used to be on a show called Sharp, based on the Sharp books. Scott McClellan, try a Scottish accent. Yes, well done, Scott. Very funny. Okay, back to Photoshop. This one just a few little white specks. That's all that needs just cleaning up. Come on, give us a sentence. I'm really not sure if you're joking, Scott, because I am Scottish. This is a Scottish accent. Whereabouts in Scotland? Central Scotland. Gerard Butler. Oh no, I think Gerard Butler's accent's generally much stronger than mine. I mean, I was watching him. I was watching him on the Craig Ferguson show a while back. I think it was just after he went to LA. He was talking about how he just bought a house over there, you know, and he was speaking about it like that. Oh dear, I've got you all talking about acid reflux. I'm sorry about that. Well, it does remind me I need to make sure I take my inhibitors. It's not omeprazole, something similar I've got me on now. Hey Root, just a wee sec. My tablet's running low. I'm going to have to plug it into charge. Won't be a minute. I apologise for any rumbling of the microphone. Peter Dinklage, his accent's well, it's fine for Westeros. It does sound a little bit false to me, but not bad false. It's just, well, it's a completely fictional world, so let him do his thing. Hey, we're charging, so hopefully that'll last a bit longer. Stop that from auto-rotating, there we go. How old are you? Someone asked. I'm 37. Welcome back, Barry. Look, I wish Andy was here tonight. He'd be having a lot of fun with Hunter and the Snow Cannon. I'm pretty good, Root. Hope you're well. Rochelle, 27. Ah, you are but a baby. Personally, I find toast helps a little bit to settle acid reflux, but it's different for everybody and it doesn't always work for me. Basically, the best thing you can do is make sure you don't eat too close to going to bed. Avoid caffeine and the various other things that trigger it. Make sure your stomach's empty before you go to bed. And if it's really bad, kind of prop yourself up when you're sleeping. And of course, Gaviscon is quite helpful. Last movie, I still haven't seen Split. I still haven't seen Split yet. Oh, there's plenty of YouTubers older than you. There's Boogie. He's in his 40s. I mentioned Count Jacula earlier. He's in his 40s too. There's Dave's World of Fun Stuff. He's I think he works in movies doing special effects work, but his YouTube channel's about repairing guitars. I think he's at least in his 50s. My days, so you can ask your age a lot. Well, there's certain questions that they're just going to pop up a lot. Like, where are you from? Are you going to do a face reveal? Are you single? How old are you? Do you do this full time? Isn't he American Game of Thrones? Are you talking about Peter Dinklage? Yeah, Peter Dinklage is American. But his Tyrion Lannister voice is, well, everybody in that show is some form of English or other. I mean, Nicola. Oh, I used to be able to pronounce this. Nicolaj Coster Waldau. Is he not Danish? He plays Jaime Lannister. Do you bite your fingernails? No, I keep my fingernails nice and short. Well, at least you've still got hair. I've got very little left. Would you ever meet a fan? What, like in a dark alley or something? Have you ever had your own let's not meet situation? Not really. There's plenty of people I'd like to never meet again, but not like a let's not meet kind of thing. Well, I'm going to have to see Split before I watch Glass. Though that's on the list of films I've still to see. I still haven't seen Infinity War, still haven't seen It. Hi, Vicaraya. Was it the same actor? In Glass, as in Split, yeah, it's they're the people from Unbreakable in Split. If that's what you're asking. Oh no, I think it's an all new cast from what I understand. It was is it Bill Skarsgård? Is Scottish people as polite as the Brits? Scottish people are British, Mara. Yeah, I think the idea with Split. I won't give any spoilers away, but I do know the ending is it was essentially that was the big reveal. It's all part of the same world. No, Tim Curry is awesome, especially in Rocky Horror. Bye, Julie. Hope you have a good shift at work, or at least it goes swiftly. And their dad, Stellan Skarsgård, of course, is a quite a well-known actor as well. Have you ever thought of doing an ethnicity DNA test? That really wouldn't serve any purpose. The results wouldn't matter. Although I suspect my results would be very, very, very white. Well, the good thing about the sequel they're doing, Necessary Evil, is they can learn from the mistakes in the first one and improve on it in the second one. Yeah, I mean, Skarsgård, he's actually in a new show I started watching recently called Castle Rock. I've got it up on Amazon Prime. I just heard banging. I hope it came from next door. Americans aren't. What's a pet peeve of yours? Oh, I was actually just thinking about one earlier. It's gone in my mind. What was it? Completely gone blank. Oh, right. I hope I don't offend anyone with this. But when they mean a packet, a jar, a tub, a can, a tin, a box, or whatever, and they don't actually say those words, they refer to it as a thing. A thing of soup, a thing of butter, a thing of flour. No. They're not things. They have words. That's my pet peeve. I came across it quite a lot today when I was watching those fitness videos. I expect most of mine's probably from the UK. Yeah, I expect most of mine's probably from the UK. Have you seen Bandersnatch? No, and I probably won't. I don't like the whole choose your own adventure idea of it. If I sit down to watch a film, I expect the filmmakers to have done all the work for me. Just let me enjoy the story. So if I say I have a container of soup, that will be acceptable, Rochelle. I prefer tub, but I'll accept container. Or can or carton or whatever the soup comes in. I'll allow it. Wait, hang on, what happened? They found a serial killer's playground is still unsolved to this day. Jeebus. Now, Necessary Evil, when you say unsolved, is that just because they haven't caught you yet? You can be honest, you're among friends here. I certainly won't report you to the authorities. Where's my phone? Like a barrel of soup. Yes! A big barrel of soup. With a tap in it. And a big loaf of bread to dip. Okay, I'm making myself want soup now. I think I might have soup when I'm done here. Probably shouldn't this close to bedtime though. No, like a Tupperware tub. No, or maybe you do have a tub of soup. Elmo, what time is it for you, Hell Freezer? It is 25 minutes to 2 in the morning. I'm rounding up. Now, I think it was probably just the guy next door getting up using his bathroom. Barry, I may have to cut you. I'm not saying I will. There's a possibility. I'll be having a bowl of soup, which will come from a tin. My lovely rainbow striped bowls that I'm very proud of I got recently. Julie Reap. You'll be fit. Well, an early happy birthday, Julie. What is your favourite soup, Hell Freezer? That's a hard one. I mean, I quite like celery soup, although it's hard to find. I can usually, the only time I can usually find it is if I get the Campbell's condensed one, which is nice, but I haven't seen any other variety for a while. I think it was either Tesco or Asda used to do one, but I don't have a local Asda. And nearly told you guys my exact location there. There is an Asda the next town over, but yeah, it's too much to travel just to see if they've got the soup I want. So I'm 37 but banging a 22-year-old. That makes me 30. No. And there's a joke about banging in there. I'll be a gentleman and not make it. What is the typical dish of food of Scotland held freezer? That would be curry from your local Chinese takeaway. Or a kebab. Or a vindaloo from the local Indian place. Oh, Barry, I love curry. In fact, my throat wasn't so sensitive right now. I'd probably be having more of them. Things will settle down. Not haggis. Well, of course we eat haggis in Scotland, but it's not. It's not the only thing we eat. It's an option. It's on the menu. So you're not into doing collabs? Well, most of the channels that ask me to do collaborations are much smaller channels that they would gain from, but I quite literally wouldn't. I used to do them all the time to help smaller channels out in my earlier days, but it's just a lot of effort, especially when I'm trying to make daily videos for my channel. So I'll do collabs with people I've worked with before, or a channel that's maybe a similar size or larger than me, because then at least there's a possibility you might attract some new subscribers from it. Did you ever play Tetris? When I was younger, I used to have a Game Boy. I also used to have this watch that had Tetris on it. And my mother played it one day and got addicted, so I rarely ever saw that watch when I was home because she'd always be playing Tetris on it. Nikolai, how well do you understand the Shetland dialect? Yesterday. If it's a UK thing, I understand pretty much everybody in the UK. Some accents are thicker than others, but you know. Did your grandma ever make you Scotch broth? I'm not sure if I ever had soup made by my grandmother. My mum used to make all sorts of soup. There was homemade soup, which was basically potatoes, carrots, lentils, that sort of thing. It was actually quite nice now that I think about it. She did make a good potato and leek as well, my mum. Have you ever had a Vietnamese called pho? I almost picked that up the other day, but it was in a bag. I wasn't sure if that was a good or a bad thing. Probably would be best if I actually went to a proper a restaurant or somewhere that sold Asian cuisine and tried it there. But what's your favourite thing to eat? Well, I did mention curry, and there used to be a pizza. It wasn't even like one of the major pizza chains that sold it. It was a local supermarket. It was a deep pan pizza. It had barbecue sauce as the base, and it was chicken, ham, or no, it was chicken bacon and mushrooms, and it was loaded with, oh, it was so good. I used to get it like once a week, once every couple of weeks, but they stopped doing them years ago, and I've been heartbroken ever since. Ah, well. Hello, do you have any big plans for 2019? In my life, I just want to work on improving my health, if possible. For the channel, I want to start a mythology series. I'm still approaching how I'm going to do that, though. I was considering doing it using Tiresias. Tiresias is a blind prophet in Egyptian mythology. Had a very interesting life he did. And so I could start off by telling his story. And because he's a prophet, he'd be able to see the future, he'd be able to tell tales of the past. So I could use him as a window into mythology. I'm still deciding how I want the character to be, though. And the cool thing about that is I'll essentially have to write my own scripts, so it'll be very original content. Never worn a kilt. Well, I think the chicken's just regular chicken, but the barbecue sauce, yeah. Pinky or the Brain. I remember I used to watch that when I was young. Well, you know, soup in a bag. Same thing we do every night, Pinky. Try to take over the world. It was meant to be Orson Welles, that voice, wasn't it? It just occurred to me, I think. What are we gonna do tomorrow night, Brian? Are you gonna have any soup from a bag, Hell Freezer? Oh, no. I mean, I have strong objections to liquids in bags. I mean, you know my feelings on bagged milk. Don't do it. Bagged soup, well, it's essentially the same thing with a different flavour, isn't it? No. Soup should come in cans or tins if you're British, or possibly I'll accept a carton. It's actually quite a nice Covent Garden. They do quite nice soups that come in cartons. Good thing about that is you can actually just open up and microwave it in the thing. Save yourself from the washing up. Well, welcome back to the present, Necessary Evil. Soup in a bag. What's your favourite type of pizza? Well, I just described the one I used to get. So whenever I'm ordering from like Pizza Hut, Domino's, places like that, I usually get something similar, but not the deep pan. I usually get the stuffed crust, usually with the cheese in it. But there actually is, they used to do, one of the places, I think it was Pizza Hut, they used to do hot dog in the crust, which was awesome. And I can't get that anymore, but the local Iceland, which is a frozen food store, they actually do their own brand as pizzas with the stuffed crust, and they even do a hot dog one. You can get pepperoni, or you can get the cheese pizza with the hot dog in it, which is amazing. So you get that, you get a little sour cream and chive dip. Awesome. Capri Suns, yeah, the work of Lucifer. Remember when I used to work retail, people would go crazy for those things whenever they were on offer. You go, well, that's an hour and a half. Okay, I think I'll go for another 20 odd minutes to get to the 2 hours, eh? I was only going to do an hour tonight, but I kind of lost track of time. Plans to be a pineapple pizza. You know what? I'm going to be controversial here. I would never order a pineapple pizza, but if somebody offered me a slice, yeah, I'd take it. It's fine. I've had it before. I've occasionally bought like reduced pizzas. They've been like 50p for a good proper sized pizza, and I've yeah, I'll do that. And I've had it, and because it's been cheap, but I'd never pay full price for one or order it. But I've got no objection. Mara, your accent's no bad at all. Some Brits have thick accents that you follow closely, otherwise you know clearly, like let's just speak in our language, you know what I mean? I haven't found the West Side Killer yet. He or she killed, I think, 13 women and dumped them on the west side of town. That's kind of disturbing when you think of how many serial killers have been out there that have never been caught. Even more disturbing when you think of the ones that were caught and actually got released back into society. There was a guy, I think he was a serial killer in Australia. They let him out and deported him back to Scotland. We don't want him. What's your favourite candy? Oh, that's a tough one. I'm quite fond of something called chocolate nibbles, which is basically just debris smushed together into what basically looks like rabbit droppings. Sounds awful, but it's very yummy. Quite like chocolate truffles. I'm just very fond of chocolate, to be honest with you. Oh, you know what I used to really like? Can't get them anymore. Maybe that's why I like them so much, because I can't have them. It was a Cadbury's Fuse. Do you guys remember those? Not years ago, they're really good. It was just bits and pieces and a chocolate bar, and it was so good. I keep hoping they'll bring them back, but they've yet to do it. Or I am quite fond of a Wisp of Gold, though. You can still buy them. Chocolate nibbles with nibble with a B, not nipples. I'm also quite fond of chocolate as well, which is basically just, it's kind of like chocolate nibbles, except it's not all smushed together. It's in like a powder, and you've got little bits of crushed like Smarties and things in it, and you eat that with a spoon. Oh, I do like Cadbury. I'm very fond of Cadbury's chocolate. Oh, the BTK killer. Yeah, he was. He got a bit overconfident there, didn't he? Which is a good thing. Gets him off the streets. Or got him off the streets. No spoilers, Joshua. Shh. Haven't seen it yet. I'm probably going to wait until Endgame is out and watch them both together. Same with the It sequel. I'll probably watch them both together too. Chalk. No, chalk as in chocolate, short for chocolate. Chocolate. Like CHOC. Okay, you guys are all talking about food and you're making me hungry. Well, my thing with Infinity War is I know it's kind of a heart-wrenching ending, even though most of those characters are going to come back. And I've got a thing where I don't want to watch it, then have to wait like a year or whatever it was at the time to get the conclusion of that story. So, yeah, let's have them both together. It's basically one movie anyway. Same with it. I mean, of course, once Endgame's done, I expect they're probably going to. I don't think they'll reboot the Marvel universe, but it's gonna. They're gonna change things up because they'll be able to introduce the X-Men characters soon, and I think around about 2020, they're able to then use characters like Daredevil and Luke Cage, Jessica Jones. I just hope they don't recast them. I think they'd be very foolish to not take Vincent D'Onofrio and stick him in a Spider-Man movie. Oh, Fraser, what time do you usually get up in the morning? I usually go for anywhere between 2 and 3 in the afternoon. Lately, I've been going to bed earlier and I've been getting up a bit 10ish, sometimes a bit earlier. I'm shooting for about midday. I'd be happy for midday. It'd let me enjoy my nights and there'd be plenty of time to do anything I have to do in a day. See, yeah, I mean, I've really enjoyed Charlie Cox, and I was amazed at the work Vincent D'Onofrio did with Wilson Fisk, Kingpin. I thought their Iron Fist casting was a bit weak, but even he's kind of won me over a little bit. I enjoyed the episode in Luke Cage they had, and it's going to be. I would never have thought of Kristen Ritter, who I actually quite liked as an actress. I would never have thought of her for Jessica Jones, but it's kind of hard to picture anybody else doing that character the way she does it now. I'm just very happy with the casting overall. Mara Freeman. I think Mara, you might be a bit behind on the chat. Somebody post it in the comments. Yeah, I think Mara's about 10-15 minutes behind in the chat. No, that's my dad. Actually, that picture was about done, I suppose. I just needed a couple of little bits cleaned up there. Yep, we'll save the changes to that one. Fine there. That's me, I think. Might be. Have you seen Bird Box? I haven't seen it yet, but given my lifelong crush on Sandra Bullock, I will definitely watch it at some point. Ah, Sandra. You make me so happy. Well, Stan Lee, no. Stan Lee will actually be in a few of the upcoming Marvel movies. I do know that they actually shot a bunch of cameos together. So he'll definitely be in Endgame. I expect he's probably going to be in Spider-Man Far From Home. And what else is coming out? He will be in Captain Marvel. He'll be in that too. I don't know if he'll be in any after that, but I do know they shot a few together. And even though he's no longer with us, and I think they'll definitely they'll find ways to keep him around. I don't know if they'll go the CG route, but they'll definitely find ways to acknowledge him and refer to him, even if it's just a sign on a building, or if they like maybe take unused footage and they kind of cut him out of the unused footage and they insert him into it. I'm sure they'll find ways. Well, the Sony Spider-Man right now is it's kind of a collab between between Sony and Marvel. So it'd be really annoying uh, if they recast again. So whatever happens, I hope they keep Tom Holland because I'm quite liking his take on it. Have you watched The Happenings? No, I haven't seen that one. Is that M Night Shyamalan? Shyamalan. I haven't seen Into the Spider Verse yet. I want to see it though. I do like kind of like multiverse things with alternate versions and that. His cameo in the first Guardians of the Galaxy was CGI. I don't think it was CGI. It might have been a composite shot, but I think they actually filmed them and then added them in later. Stan Lee, is that the actor? Is the actor's been in most of the Marvel movies? Uh, yeah, I think overall he's done. Yeah, he's been in a cameo in every one of them. Uh, Even the characters he didn't create, he's been in them. I think is he been on any? I don't know if he's been on any of the TV shows. I'm not sure. Sam Jackson's second. I'm trying to think. Well, he was in. Would it be? Yeah, it might actually be. Maybe followed by Clark Gregg. Would he be the third one? Well, that I think what they did there was it was it wasn't like they constructed his face through CG. I think it was basically a head replacement, which is something you do in stunt work as well. So they probably just filmed them separately and composited the shot. So it wasn't say I'm just guessing here. I remember reading something about it. It wasn't quite what they did in the Star Wars movies, where they had like a body double for Peter Cushing, and they then completely replaced the face with a computer generated version. I think they filmed Stan Lee. I think that's what happened there. Although I think was that the second cameo? I think there was a different one planned originally. Hellfreezer, is there any horror film that has frightened you? Old or young one? The only thing that has ever really frightened me significantly in horror are zombie films. I remember when I was very young, I may have mentioned this before, but I'll tell it again. Very young, it was just the trailer for Dawn of the Dead. It was. I remember it was the one that took place in the shopping mall. And when I say Dawn of the Dead, I'm talking about the original one. It just scared the bejesus out of me from the trailer alone. I don't even remember what film it was on. It was a rental VHS tape, but I can't even remember the movie. I don't think the movie itself, whichever it was, actually scared me that much, but that trailer did. And zombie movies have always freaked me out. Not as much now that I'm older, but still a little bit. Yeah, I think the Spider-Man PS4 game is quite open world. If you had to wear a furry for, why would you dress up as? I probably wouldn't. Hello, Fraser, you ever considered doing a series on true crime? Nah, didn't really appeal to me that much. I'm kind of wary of doing things that would involve talking about people's lives that I haven't been able to talk to and get approval from. I mean, when I do the true stories in my channel, I have the permission from the people that I happen to. So there'll be a lot of research and everything involved in there to actually, to speak to the people and get permission from the people involved. And I don't think my heart would really be in it. Older images. So I'm not really sure. I don't really do word counts. I mean, in minutes, the average would go between, say, 5 to 7 minutes, if that helps. Did you just break your hand? No. I might have cracked my knuckles without realizing it. I'm still looking for an actual scary movie. I haven't found one in almost 40 years. Now, you might want to check out either The Horror Guru or Count Jackula. There's a few films on their channel that these are guys who are pretty dedicated to horror. There's a few films on there that have even rattled them. So you might find something on there that appeals to you. In 2018, they arrested over 10 serial killers. Oh no, I don't like Funko Pop figures. I don't really see the point of them. They're very generic looking apart from the costumes. And the black eyes just look weird. No, I've read that statistic. Of course, some of them are probably either have been active and have stopped because they died, or I don't know, maybe retired. I mean, it's entirely feasible that some of them just stop because they're too old and they can't anymore. Well, it's probably not really rising because some of them have definitely passed away. I think a huge problem in these cases, as I understand it, is that they don't share information as much as they should between the states. So it makes them a lot harder to link and track down. Bye, Ava. I'll be signing off myself in a little bit too. Yeah, what you may have heard was this. I have very cracky bones. Yeah, but at the very least, it should be put in a database, which of course could be hacked, but I think it'd be worth the risk because it would then, you fill out the things about the case, and it would automatically ping when there's similar things happening in other states. It would make it much easier to track them, much easier to arrest them, I dare say. Not just killers, but all crimes in general. Yeah, well, didn't break anything, just cracking my stiff knuckles. Oh, thanks, AC. Very much appreciated. Database. No, it's not APHIS, is it? No, that's DNA. Oh, that's happened to me. I remember once, was it 4 or 5 years ago now? I was walking home, and I was going away I don't usually go because there was road work, so I couldn't quite go down that way, so I had to walk up past the place I used to work in, where I was still working at this point. This car pulls up next to me. There seems to be a family and a young woman, maybe in her 20s, red hair. Quite attractive as I recall, but that's not really relevant. And she said, "Get in!" I didn't know who she was. And I was like, no, that's okay. No, get in! I was like, no, thank you. So I just kept walking. I don't quite know what she was planning, but I wasn't in the mood for it that day. I had snacks to get home and eat. Well, I think a countrywide, even I dare say eventually a worldwide database is what has to be. I think it'd definitely be worth dedicating the time and resources to it. You're born evil has been proven. I don't think that's been proven beyond a doubt. I mean, there have been tests done to show what makes up a sociopath's brain or a serial killer's brain, but then there's people they know for a fact aren't these things and are relatively well-adjusted people that have also matched those brain scans. It's all still in its infancy, I guess, this sort of research. Drink more milk. No. Dairy, well, cow milk doesn't really agree with me, although I do enjoy the taste. So I'm on the oat milk these days. Which you can actually use for pretty much everything I use the regular milk for. No, it's just cracky bones running in my family. How tall are you? About 5'10". Maybe a teeny weeny bit over. Unless I've shrunk. I'm trying to remember the name of that fella. Is it Archie something? Let's see if I can find his name before we go. Killed a bunch of people in Australia and then they set him free. Can't believe they set that guy free. And then deported him to Scotland. No, we don't know. Keep him. He wasn't a serial killer when he lived in Scotland. Killers by country. Australia. That was Archie something. I think it did his killing in the 80s. William McDonald? No. Let's see if I can do a find thing. Find. Archibald Hall. No, that's not him. Nope, can't find him. I think there's certainly people who are just born wrong. I mean, if you look at people like Jeffrey Dahmer, he was a creepy little pooper from a young age. Archie Bunker. No, it wasn't Archie Bunker. Hang on, did I see his name there? I saw the name Duffy. No. No. Okay, I'm a Google. Killer. No, it wasn't him. Archie McCafferty, there he is. There we are, Archie McCafferty. Hang on. I better add this before I get into any bother from the authorities. I am just doing research. Seriously, I am but a humble YouTuber. There we go. That should keep the FBI and all that off my back. Right, Archie McCafferty. Yes, I spelled it wrong. Well done. Right, can't find a Wikipedia page there. Right, I'm not. Yeah, we found him. Archibald McCafferty, that was him. Oh, hi, Chris. Thank you. No, poor Mara. She's all worried about serial killers. Well, if it helps any, you've probably statistically got more likely to be involved in a traffic accident. Well, the thing is, Barry, most people couldn't. I mean, you probably could with the right motivation, but most people wouldn't want to. Lactose. I think everybody's behind the chat. I guess I've become a little lactose intolerant. I mean, a little bit. But I can have ice cream now and again. I'm fine. I can have cheese, no bother at all. It just seems to be like milk, cow's milk, on its own. Yeah, it doesn't. I don't think it really works that way. Stalker. Well, maybe it didn't you. I mean, you can get over sensitivities, I suppose. I mean, I tried soy milk, didn't like it. Tried almond milk, it was okay, but I think it gave me a sore throat. Then I found oat milk, which I'm absolutely fine with. And everybody was recommended, oh, goat's milk, that's the one to go with, and it's fine. Goat's milk is really good if you're making like macaroni and cheese. It makes a good cheese sauce. But no, I just stick to the oat's milk these days for most things, unless I'm cooking. See, the thing is, I was fine with milk up until about 10 or so years ago when I started getting stomach problems and all. So I had to go away from it. I went through a period where I couldn't even eat cheese. So I didn't have that for like a year or two, and one day I was like, oh, gosh, I need cheese. I had a massive craving, so I got a bit and I ate it, and it was fine. I could eat cheese again. I'm hoping one day I can actually have whole milk again. Used to miss like a sandwich and a glass of milk or a glass of warm milk at night. And hell, like I can use like single cream and things. I put single cream in coffee. Diabetes. Joshua Hammond, what should I order for dinner? Something healthy that you won't regret eating tomorrow. Although if you're ordering it, you may as well go unhealthy, I suppose. Oh, that sounds good. Chicken fried steak, mashed potatoes, corn on the cob. Yeah, I've discovered new allergies in the last year. I seem to I'm slightly allergic to kiwi. Thankfully, it's not deathly allergic. I can have it in small amounts, but I'll know if I've had it. And I'm also allergic to something called pink guava, which was a new one on me. I'd got some juice that had pink guava in it, and I thought, well, that tastes quite nice, and it did. But it also left me feeling numb in my face. It was okay within a day, though. Oh, freezer, you're right next to me. Well, how tall are you, Mara? Necessary evil. Well, I think at that height you don't have to worry about any serial killers coming after you, unless it's the really, really big ones. I think that fella that killed his grandfather and his mum, what was his name? Oh, well, I'll not bother looking it up. I'm sure you know the guy I'm talking about. Happy New Year, Vicarai. Well, thank goodness I'm not allergic to bananas. I love them. I always use them as my smoothie base. Banana, apple, and then I add other stuff. Right, I think 5 more minutes and then that'll do me for the night. So 5 minutes. Ceiling fans and doorways are my mortal enemies. Kung Fu tea. I don't know if we have those in the UK. No, I don't think we have that in the UK. Yeah, most of the people in my family are fairly tall. My mum was quite short though, but on my dad's side of the family we're relatively tall. My nephew's even taller than I am. He must be at least 6 feet. I do quite like the flavour of watermelon. Okay, I think I'm just gonna wrap it up there for tonight, folks. It is currently it's about 2:30 a.m. here in the UK, so I'm gonna head off for now. So until next time, thank you very much for listening, and take very good care of yourselves.